join around. I'd like to welcome all of you. I'm Dr. Kevin Pollack. I'm the president here at Montgomery County Community College. It's my pleasure to welcome all of you this evening. Thank you for joining us today on our wall-breaking ceremony for our new music technology suite. Now, we are all excited, and I'm particularly excited about the construction for this new suite because it's going to be a game changer. It's for our students that are seeking our careers in music, recording, broadcasting industries. This is going to change everything for them. This suite will greatly enhance our sound recording and music technology programs, our courses, and it's going to serve as a living lab. When finished, students will have a more comprehensive experience, one that's going to allow them to learn every aspect of the business, from professionals in the industry, taking theoretical knowledge into actual practice. We will be inviting professionals to use the Living Lab, and our students will have the invaluable opportunity to work with them as well. As we create these unique opportunities, we need funding to support the building renovations and programs, and we're going to be happy to talk to any of you that would like to help us with that sometime tonight. Have more wine and we'll talk, okay? So thank you sincerely for coming this evening and joining in our vision. We really invite you to spread the word to your friends and acquaintances about this new technology suite. It is going to be something very special. Tell your friends and your family and your business partners and others all the great things that are happening at this college. It's amazing, and we're all proud to be part of it. So again, I'd like to thank you sincerely for being here this evening, and now I'd like to introduce you to Dr. Vicki Bastecki-Perez, our Vice President of Academic Affairs and our Provost.
That's okay. Thank you, Dr. Pollack. I would like to acknowledge this evening some of the special guests who are here with us to celebrate. Jim King, the Secretary-Treasurer of our Foundation Board of Directors. See him back there. Mr. Tony Coelho, former Congressman from California. Thank you for joining us. Lloyd Regal, Ehrlich Construction. Mario Zaccharis from BZS Architects. Mario, I know I saw you. I share in Dr. Pollack's enthusiasm for this project and the opportunities it generates for our students of all backgrounds. Students who are seeking a career in music or sound production and who want to get their foot in the door with an internship. Students who are already in the industry but need an update or a skill enhancement, and also our adult learners who want to return to college to pursue their passion and an encore career. As a community college, we not only provide a high-quality education for our students, but we are also a resource for our community. This project will foster collaborations with the community through the inclusive of both professional and new artists in the region, as well as visiting artists who perform on our stage for our Lively Arts series. We hope that the Sound Recording and Music Technology Studio will serve as the hub for professionals in our region. The college takes a holistic approach when planning programs, recognizing the students' needs for credentials aligned with industry expectations, job readiness skills, and transfer pathways for further education. It's through the vision and passion of our faculty, inspired by our students and the community, that this live learning lab was conceptualized. The faculty have worked judiciously through an accelerated timeline, spurred by the availability of state funding, to realize their instructional dream of this state-of-the-art studio. It is with sincere pride that I'd like to invite Assistant Professor and Coordinator of Sound Recording and Music Technology, Michael Kelly, to come to the podium to tell us more about this evolutionary and evolving program and its potential.
They told me to look for the Mike Kelly tab, but I'm not going to use it. Can everybody please just take 2 steps forward, please? No, this is a class now, please. Couple more, there you go, thank you. Thank you, Vicki. I'm going to use first names tonight. I've been here in January. It'll be my 10-year anniversary since I started at the college. And when I first came here, the whole idea to have this kind of SRT program and move it forward was one of the reasons I came here, and I started with Morgan Betts. And over the years, we planned and thought, and there was changes to the school, and people came and left. But at one point, a couple of years ago, there were all kinds of changes happening all at once. We were down a dean, and this was right in the middle of the planning of the SRT program. And I called a meeting with Vicki, and then Aaron, who was acting dean at the time, and they were nice enough to sit and talk with me, but I gave them this whole SRT download. And Vicki said to me, Vicki's a drummer, by the way, Vicki said to me, after I went through the whole thing, she said, "Sounds great, just do it, just do it." That was great. Okay, we're going to do it. Morgan Betts and I got to work. And it's just, I tell my class, I tell my students, say yes and figure it out later. So that's what we were doing. We said, we heard yes, and we're figuring it out. And we get Michelle Cuomo on board, which is awesome, new, and hit the ground running. Hit the ground running. Do you ever see like that science show? They put somebody on a rope and they push them across a room in the air, and then they're running in their feet. There's no such thing as hit the ground running. It doesn't work. But Michelle came right on board, and Michelle, we want to do this thing. She didn't know who the hell I was. Michelle's an actress, by the way. My dean, she's an actress, art person. And I told her what we were doing, and she's like, great. And we went through the process of going through what was called, at the time, my first time going through curriculum. Curriculum. It's a 4-syllable word, which I added another 4-syllable word in front and behind that after, but I can't mention that one. But going through the curriculum committee to get the degree, to get it going, it was long and arduous, and if you put a colored font in the paper, they'd send you away. It was crazy. But we got it. We finally put it through. It's great. And then Kevin, Dr. Pollock, but Kevin, we'd walk into the president's office, and you look around, and there's a big picture of Dee Snider from Twisted Sister, autographed on his wall. I'm like, I love this guy. But that was this year. When he was here, he was doing the first graduation ceremony, and I was sitting in the tent over in the back, and I was playing the piano, and he came over and introduced himself. And I knew he was a musician, but I'm like, oh, you play a little? And he's like, a little. And he came in, and he just like nailed it. And he keeps on, oh, no, I don't really play, but he really does. He understood. And when we pitched the SRT program and what we wanted to do with the studio idea, we sat down in one of the rooms and we talked to him about it. And he said, excuse me, and he said, yeah, I get it, just do it, yes, yeah. So I heard yes again. Last but not least, the other person I'm gonna call out is Celeste, who's the head of IT. You have a different title every other week, but Celeste Schwartz, when I first came to the college in 2008, before the semester started, we all went on a trip to New York City with Karen and Matt Porter, who's my buddy, and Morgan and IT, It's like 10 of us, and had this partnership with Apple. And so we're talking, and we're in the Advanced Technology Center, and this was all this. I went on this trip with all of them, and I just bonded with Celeste. She's funny, but she's so straight up, no bullshit. Just so, she'll tell you the truth, and that's the person, and that's what you want. Tuesday was my birthday. Thank you. Tuesday was my birthday. Last year, at this time, I went with a proposal, talked it over with David. What do we want to do? Let's get our wish list. What do we want to do? We want to build a studio. And I went to Celeste's office and I said, this is what we want to do. And I need to do a study. They need to come down, WSDG, one of the biggest studio designers in the world, country. They did all kinds of stuff all over, and we'll hear about them. But I said, we need to have them come down and do an analysis of the room. And she says, how much is it? $100,000? And I'm like, $8,000. She says, do it. Go. Do it. Do it. So for now this is Vicky, and then Michelle, and then I have Celeste, and all the support, and we did it. The reason why it's built so damn early, and we're planning on fundraising for this for next year, is that because of that study, we got some money from the state, and we were able to start this project. And it's going to be done at the end of the year. So I just wanted to do that shout out to everybody. What I tell my students are, you have to connect. It's about connections and relationships. And I have one of the most amazing teams ever. This is home for me. And what we're building for our students, this is, we think it's not mine and David's playground, but we're going to play in that sandbox. But this is for the students. And why do I teach? I don't know, but I really do know. I know why I teach, because we get to show these kids the incredible things that you can do with music. I'm sorry, I'm almost done. This was a letter I got the other day from a student. Today I was walking into the tech center here at Montco and Bluebell, and as I walked, I'm sorry, my glasses are not the right ones, I couldn't help but notice a small recording studio that had been filled with miscellaneous items that were connected, and other was a storage room with many, many new musical technological devices all wrapped up in packaging. A man named Sean Sealer stopped me and saw my interest in all the devices in front of me, and he kept showing me around the devices in the room, and he showed me the SRT pamphlet that has all the information about the major on it. I'm a guest student here right now at Montco, so I'm not enrolled in the major right now. I don't know what to do, because right now I was planning on returning to Penn State University this spring. I went there last year and decided to stay home this fall. I truly have a deep, deep passion for music and all the magic it brings into our world. Right now, there's nothing else I want to do with my life. I heard you have been successful and even have a Grammy-nominated guy there I'd like to meet and possibly ask you more questions about regarding the SRT major and music in general. And let me know if you can. And I said, hell yeah. And so don't go to Penn. Just come here and we'll show you the way. And that's what we're here to do. I'm gonna shut up now. And I have two amazing students that I'm gonna introduce to you, Kevin Folk and Bobby Dreyer. And I'm gonna introduce both of you guys over here. And they're gonna tell you their story and how we've, what did we do to you?
Hey,
I don't know.
look, and no, I don't have kids who come here. I'm the big kid, the older kid. Kevin might be a little bit younger, but you know, I've been doing music probably for 45 years, maybe a little bit longer. If anything, it's the thing that motivates me and gets me out of bed. It's that one thing that drives me. I call it maybe my drug. It's that thing I can't get enough of. I can't get enough of looking at guitars and equipment and that. And it's incredible. Dr. Pollock, thank you very much. Dean Cuomo, Michael, Dave, Matt, Steve, you know, you guys are amazing. This is...
That's right, you're an SRT major.
Hey, well, I don't have a roadie here, but 2013, received my degree in music, my associates at Bucks County Community College. I have it in jazz performance and composition, and I thought, wow, this is great. But I'm going, what do I do with this? So I bounced around to a couple four-year institutions, thinking maybe I'll do music therapy. Maybe I'll teach. Maybe I'll do this. And I kept going, wow, really what I want to do is I want to know music from the recording aspect. Good friend of mine standing back there, Brett Call. I did 4 albums with Brett over the last 7 years with Brett. We're working on a 5th project right now. Brett was artist himself. He's a teacher at Wilmington University. Brett knows the industry like David, and it was that thing, and I kept going, wow. So you just don't need to play. You can learn it elsewhere. And I kept going, well, where do I go? I Googled, and I was at a 4-year institution right down the road here, and I kept saying, you know, I'm not digging this whole academia thing. I don't need to take a class in German. I'm a little too old to be sitting there trying to learn a second language. I don't hard enough time learning jazz, you know, but first thing that popped up, I said, you know, recording institutes. First thing that came up was Montgomery County Community College. And I was like, wow, so that's kind of neat. It's right down the road. I live in Doylestown. I'll take a ride. I came in here, first person I met was Michael Kelly. Within 5 minutes, I was like, okay, I think I called my partner, Tony Coelho. I said, you wouldn't get upset if I didn't go for a 4-year degree. I'm thinking about doing another 2-year degree. I think you need to go take a ride with me. And, you know, so we came back over here, met Mike. Then I met Matt Porter. Well, what can we say about Matt Porter? But there he is. But I think when you meet faculty like this and you just go, they get it, I get it. When I can sit in a classroom with somebody 2-3 decades younger than myself and we're all shooting for the same goal, it's amazing. You know, it's beyond learning. It's, you know, when I see the fire in David's Alley teaching, you know, we went to the Edison Museum and just all his years of knowledge, I'm going, okay, this is what I want to do. But Monco has provided that. The other thing that Monco has done, which has really hit a chord with me, my other passion is disabilities. The great thing about music, it knows no boundaries. Recording, making music, there's no limits. So there's no right and wrong way to do it. We all got to get there at you know, we all learn in a different way. But I seen one thing here at Monco. Nobody sits there and places himself above each other. It's kind of, it almost feels like the Eagles now. Everybody around here helps each other. If you know something another person doesn't, everybody's willing to go that extra mile to help each other out. I've had Kevin over here who we met when I was building my own recording studio. Again, through the knowledge that I gained here at the college, they came over. I didn't know what I was doing, you know, but you learn from your mistakes, and we made a lot of them. It's been great. I can't tell you what this new studio is going to mean to me as much it is going to mean to incoming freshmen as well as students that aren't even here yet. But I don't think you're going to get rid of myself anytime soon. It could be that this is a community college and people say, oh, you only go for 2 years. Well, I've been here 3. It happens. So I'm going to pass it over to Kevin now and let him go off.
Hello. I want to thank Michael Kelly for inviting me to speak tonight. I'm very happy to have the connection with him. So, when I graduated high school, I didn't know what to do with my life. I wasn't really a good student, so I didn't apply to any colleges. And in fact, I didn't apply to Montco until a week before the classes started, that August. And I took a bunch of different classes, and around my 4th semester, I took a music production class with Michael Kelly because, I liked music. I played guitar here and there, and, it was a passion of mine. And within 10 minutes of his introductory speech, I was like, this is the degree for me. And I was so inspired by that that entire semester I took all audio classes, just audio classes, nothing else. And I remember I worked a job that I just absolutely hated. And I tried to, get out of shifts just to stay nights here in the studios that we already had. And, I studied as much as I could outside of classes. And I remember that August, after having completed my first semester, I was at a venue that I played at and frequented a lot, and the sound guy didn't show up. And I was like, hey, I'm going to school for this. Maybe I can get a job there, intern. And he brought me on as an intern. And then that October, he offered me a job, and I was able to quit that terrible job that I hated so much. And I remember also that semester, I started my first class with David Ivory. And he inspired me to no bounds. I worked even harder than I did before just to maybe, get to a higher level, because I saw Dave was so successful, and I didn't realize that someone could be so successful in the music industry that, in the local area. So I worked my hardest to get to that point. And I remember in 2015, the following year, I got hired as my first producing job. A local band had hired me because they heard some of the work I did in class here, and they hired me to produce and engineer their record. And it didn't go very far, but I was very proud of what I had done with the knowledge that I gained at Montco. And at the same time, I had also started freelancing for more production companies and getting bigger gigs outside of school and, getting more work on the side. And I was pretty much busy all the time now with audio. And I remember the January of 2016, I changed my major to the SRT major because it just rolled out, and I was so excited about it. And within that year, I learned so much that just I did not, I guess was not covered in the previous major. And right around then, I was working full-time and in venues all around, freelancing and all that. And that July, after that spring semester, I found myself in a recording studio in Nashville with Paul Worley, who was the former vice president of Sony and found the Dixie Chicks. And so I was beyond thrilled to have now worldly experience, to be able to be in this room with the top players of Nashville and recording like a brand new record. And that that fall was my last semester here, and it was kind of a bittersweet feeling to having been leaving this place after, I think it was like 4 years I was here. And 3 days after my last final, I flew out to LA to meet Katy Perry's engineer and just have a discussion with him and, make that connection. And he brought me into the studio, and, I have that connection now for life, and I still talk to him. And when I heard that they got the funding for the studio, I was so excited and kind of jealous at the same time. Because where was that? But, if you had told me after graduating high school that I would be able to, live my dream and get paid to have fun, to experiment, and to tour the country and get paid for it, then I wouldn't have believed you. I would have been like, nobody does that anymore. That's fake. But I believe that, with this new studio, that other students will be able to live their dreams as I have. And I want to thank Michael Kelly and Morgan Betts and Dave and Neil Goldstein for everything that they've done for me. Thank you very much.
Hi, everyone. I'm Michelle Cuomo, Dean of Arts and Humanities, and I just want to invite you all to just give another round of applause for these inspiring students. What I really heard in their stories is the success they have is really so deeply connected to their passions. And I'm just thrilled by that, because it's not just about, okay, I got a job. I realized my dream. And that's what we're talking about here today. I'm so thrilled. So thank you all for coming. As Dr. Pollack mentioned, the program is actively seeking private support to help us complete the renovation of the site. We need equipment and, most importantly, building funds for scholarships and experiential learning opportunities. So we're not just talking about the room, we're talking about getting students like Bobby and Kevin here and working with us. Please speak to any of the college staff after the program about how you might be able to help and partner with us. We'd love to talk to you. There are brochures scattered around the atrium for you to take home with you to think about it. So I really do hope you'll consider that. And now I just really want to talk a little bit about our faculty who teach the program and whose vision started this project. You've already heard a little bit from our students. It's because of their passion and commitment to teaching and bringing out the best in our students that the project has come to fruition. They are seasoned professionals who are active in the industry. You've already met Michael Kelly. He has been writing, recording, and performing in New York since 1984. That's New York City. He's recorded with the Ronnie Gent Band, the Gripweeds, and Wide Right. Most recently, he's performed and continues to perform nationally with Violin Femmes, and they're coming to Valley Forge in March, so get your tickets. It's going to be a treat. Instructor David Ivory has garnered numerous awards over his prolific career, including the Recording Industry Association's Triple Platinum and Gold record, and has worked with The Roots, Patti LaBelle, and Selena Johnson. Most recently, he was appointed as the Music Industry Engineer for the Philadelphia Music Industry Commission, and he is a member of the Philadelphia Music Industry Task Force, and we've heard it already, Grammy-nominated, Grammy Association. Assistant Professor Steve Wana is a multidisciplinary sound and visual artist who has taught for more than a decade, and he's contributed so much to our campus, even beyond SRT. There's a beautiful sculpture that he conceptualized that's in College Hall, and I hope you visit it if you have a chance. His music is performed nationally and internationally. And so now I'd like to invite Steve and Dave to come up here and say a few words, because we are just so blessed to have Michael, Steve, and Dave. Thank you.
Thank you all for coming. It looks very different from up here.
They say if there's a doctor in the house, it's him.
Right. Not that kind of doctor. Thank you, Michelle. So I'll just say a little bit about the program. When I joined 2.5 years ago, the SRT program was basically, as Michael was just saying, had been put in place on paper, but hasn't been rolled out yet. So I was basically tasked with rolling it out and working out all the bumps and whatnot. And there were a lot of bumps. So what works on paper doesn't always work in class, that sort of thing. And it's been a pretty steep learning curve as far as getting it to fit the needs of the students. But I think, and I think some students would agree, they're getting a lot out of it. It's pretty remarkable that you can get that in depth and that much exposure to, hands-on experience at a community college. I think that's remarkable. There are many four-year universities that would dream to have anything remotely as close to what we have here. And that's not counting the new studio, by the way, just the old studios. So that's my role here, and I try to contribute as much as I can. I'm very lucky to be here, work with people like Dave and Michael. I think our students are great, and I think they get a lot out of it, so that's my bit. Thanks.
Hi, everybody. Thank you all for being here. It's very important that I'm very thankful you're all here and that you're supporting this effort. As Steve and Michael said, we have a very robust recording program right now, no doubt about it. And it's not like we're building this to start one. We have one going, and this is really going to just jumpstart and just turbocharge this whole program. This faculty, I'm so lucky to be with these guys. They're great. And I think we all have a different kind of thing we bring to the table. We definitely have different experiences, which I think is going to help the students an awful lot. We're not allowed, we never tell any student to do that unless we release this microphone. See that? We just yell at people all the time. So anyway, I like that. But, I just think that this college has a very forward-thinking attitude as to the fact that they want people who are actually doing it and living the business and not just teaching it. And I think that's what the biggest thing that we're going to provide. And again, that's part of the idea of the new studio, is to show the students everything, not just a snapshot or a line of one thing. Because when you have a board or you have a new console and you're here in technology and everybody goes, oh, vinyl and tape and all that, but if you never hear vinyl and if you never hear tape, you can't understand all that. And the understanding of anything, it's like, how can you know history if you don't know what came before you? How can you make R&B music if you don't know who Marvin Gaye is? So it's like, these are the kind of things that we're trying to do and bring to the students, and also with a facility that'll be the envy of any four-year college within a 150-mile radius of this place. So that's going to be the beauty of it. And I'm glad that we're doing this. I'm really happy for all of our, Vicky, Michelle, Celeste, everybody, Mr. Happy, wherever he is, our general contractor who watches, now he's not our contractor, he just oversees all the construction. So it's all great. So we appreciate everything. And I'm just really looking forward to a whole bunch of great students coming out of this place and a lot of great publicity about how we're really going to make some differences here.
So again, we have such a talented, dedicated faculty leading this program. With the combination of their talents and direction, the new suite, and the outstanding SRT program, we will be sharing more student success stories in the future. Now, I'm going to ask everyone to proceed down the hallway for a champagne toast and wall-breaking event. To mark this occasion, we also invite you to sign a Sam Ash guitar, which will be on display in the completed suite. After the wall breaking and toast, the communication labs on the first floor are open for tours, and you can watch our students in action in the radio station in the atrium. Please stay for tours, good food and conversation. Thank you, everyone. Proceed down.
Ready? Are we doing this? Yes. Okay. 1, 2, 3. Here's Johnny. Get it?